Okay, looks like we're live. Now let's see what we've got here. Can I get let's get our screen share up? There we go. Photoshop. Okay. What are we gonna paint tonight? I'm somewhere between. Hey, we should paint some tanks, because that's what we do, and just painting like a actual environment scene. Have not done that in a while, and it might be a good thing to do. Let's see what we get. One moment here. We've got Pure Ref over here on the other screen, and let's see. We got castles. We got caves. We got camels. I like camels. Dappled light. What is this? Earth and stone. I like rocks. Rocks are fun to paint. Okay. Alright, let's see here. Okay. Arches are cool. Yeah, okay, we got some random arches over here. So instead of just doing a faithful reproduction of one of these, I'll bring this over so you can see it. Let's kind of recompose it, come up with some kind of amalgamation. That's a word, right? If not, it is now. Of all of these, or at least of the ones we like. All right, so I'll bring that pen back over there, and we'll start sketching. Okay. New layer. Get rid of that background. Let's do a solid color. Yeah, we'll go bright, and then we'll do. Gotta do a new layer again, because whenever you make a solid fill, it gets rid of your currently active layer. It's awesome. It's brilliant. So there's that. And let's see, for our darker color, we're gonna go kind of light on this one, and we're gonna sneak up on it, maybe. All right, so let's get some shapes going here. What is this guy doing? I need a different brush. This one, I like it. I like this brush, but I want something that's got some thick and thin to it. You know what I mean? Gotta have a little control over that. You know. All right, so we get this. Here, we'll block in some shadows there. And I'll block in this shadow here. Do. What is that shape that I'm seeing? It goes up, down, over, down. And then we'll kind of cut this across. Try to get those at a similar angle. And then we'll bring in the rest of this. Going way too slow. Driving me nuts. Gotta speed this thing up. Speed a little. Alright, let's get this white value in there. And put in some little shadowy bits here. Maybe roughen up some of this. I don't know what's going on. Do I think I've got pressure sensitivity right now, but sure does not feel like it. How's this? There we go. That's got it. Always some excuse. I don't know, it doesn't... I mean, it's got pressure sensitivity, but I mean, it doesn't feel like it. What does that tell you? Alright, let's shrink this whole thing. Well, I guess we can finish off this little white area here. There's like too much texture in the, what would seem to be sky. Okay. Shrink that down. You go over there. Alright. Slow start. Slow start. We gotta keep moving here. I'm looking in the chat. We got Hope Henson. Your art looks lovely so far. How are you doing today? Tonight? Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm a little bit grumpy. Not gonna lie. I mean, I feel okay now, but today. Okay, we won't go into it, but we'll just say some technical issues with Microsoft products. I think that's all we have to say. That's probably some understanding there. But yeah, other than that, things are good. We just had dinner with some friends and then got the kids ready for bed, and we watched some Fiddler on the Roof. Kind of getting the kiddos introduced to that. So that's been fun, hearing my little kids, sing some of these songs, and they're just getting it in little bite-sized chunks. It's like we're only we can't be 40 minutes into the movie, but they get the music, getting a little bit of the story, starting to hopefully understand a little bit of the culture. That's kind of the idea there, is get them thinking about some of those things in a accessible way. Yeah, it's a good one. I sometimes wonder, like I grew up on it, that was like what's the term? It was, it was like a common like reference point, like other people in my circles knew it, and then you get older and you find out, not everybody had the same experiences, or like kind of it's not really necessarily in the pop culture. I guess you'd have to kind of like I don't know. It'd have to be in your circles, the people around you to be interested in the same things. But yeah, we grew up on that. It's good. Music is awesome. I think the cinematography holds up. I mean, there's a couple things that are dated, like the freeze frames and some like flashing back and forth between a lot of like jump cuts on the, is that what they call it, on like the iconography stuff in the beginning. It's a little jarring. You wouldn't really see that anymore. But in terms of the lighting and the composition and stuff, like I think it's great. And it's funny what you pick up on. Like as a kid, I remember picking up on the cultural tension. I think they did a good job of like, you kind of feel it. But it's still like light enough, like accessible enough, that as a kid, I could pick up on it and not be overwhelmed by it or anything. And so it's interesting to see it now, like to have my own kids experience it, and then like, I'm picking it up a little more heavily than I was when I was a child. But anyway, it's a good one. It's a good one. All right, there's another arch. We'll do some more here. We got one on the coast. So we got coastline. Of the songs, I expected my kids to sing If I Were a Rich Man. But they're kind of stuck on the Matchmaker one, which is kind of funny to me. Like, even my 4-year-old son, I'm like, all right, you have no idea what this is about. Okay. Anyway. All right, I'm going to move this because the other drawing is interfering a little bit with at least the way that I'm perceiving it. I don't want that to mess too much with how I'm seeing this. Okay. So let's see. It is Wednesday. Lightbox was this last weekend. That was one convention I would have liked to have gone to. It just wasn't going to happen this year. I mentioned it, I think, in the last stream. Thought it would be a little bit different, but it's good that they were able to meet in person. So it'd be interesting to hear if anyone was able to make it, how the show went. Let's see here. Do we want to? I'm debating whether to bother drawing the water or not. It's like once you start going, you're committed, you know. And currently, I've got things blocked in as basically shadow shapes, and I do have some shadows in the water, like down here. If I go, let's see. We'll bring this around like this, okay. And then, yeah, there's a shadow shape in here that I don't want to completely ignore, but it is under the water, and so then you get the shadow mixed with reflections, and you're adding complexity to the values that we're trying to draw out of the scene. Okay, so for this one, I'm thinking instead of doing the sky, we'll do there's like a stone texture here. And so we'll do the stone. With white. I'm looking at the chat. That one's really fun. I forget the term. Something with the lines of landscape. The word is evading me. It's nice though. You're thinking leading lines? I think that might be used more in photography, but I get all the terms mixed up. Whether it's from one field or another. Let's see. You know what I like in an image is when the light kind of fades into one area, all kind of like emanates out. So you get like a burst of light right here, some high contrast. I mean, it doesn't need to be contrast, but it's, but the light itself, kind of centered, almost like a spotlight on one area, and then just smoothly grades off into these other regions. Doesn't need to be centered up, I guess, but obviously if you wanted a more dynamic composition. What am I seeing in this scene here? There's like a cave right here, and the rock kind of emanates, from it. And so then you've got this plane, this form change here, but it's not playing by, nice, neat linear kind of rules, which is kind of, I think, why it looks cool. Just seems to cut all these different angles, which are, it's cool. It's neat, but it's requiring me to actually pay attention, which is a good thing. I may have killed it. May have just killed it. We'll see if we can revive. Gotta finish what we started here. Trying to get the there's like a grass plane and then a stone, and the grass. You know, we're only using 3 values here, and so one is both shadow and grass, so we need to be careful with that. And then I think if we cut this stone section here is where you got a cast shadow kind of coming at an angle, maybe just catches the edge of this here. And maybe just that edge. Maybe we'll bring that back. And then we can add, I don't know, a little more shadow on the grass area. And then let's trim this out here. Like that. And then we'll maybe just leave a couple little regions here. I think we should probably put some of our stone in here. Let's do that again. A little gentler this time. That is the beauty of digital, you know. So you know what? I apologize, Canvas. I did you wrong. We're gonna take a step back and let's just start over. I suppose you can start over in a traditional too, but okay. I'm tempted to put in, you know, like some kind of foreground thing here, you know, to show like we're looking over this ledge or something. Like that this comes around. Trouble is though, you know, you get a little too a little too controlling with these things. You try to make them work. And by you, I mean me. Okay. So then we got that drawing. Put that over there. Let's do some more. Oh, this one's kind of fun. This will be tricky. So this one we've got like a different viewing angle, whereas the other ones were kind of, you know, we're either looking at something large, kind of, this is from a distance looking down. These are all kind of level horizon. This one's that I'm working on right now has a low horizon. That'll be interesting. I lost it for a second. You know, I was looking at this reference image and then I got kind of stuck in looking at what I was doing here. Lost the image. All right. That would probably do me a lot of good to simplify this here. Nice little palm tree up there. Alright, we need to have a little bit of overlap on these. Alright, this whole area is in shadow. Let's do that again. Give that a little too much pressure. Okay. see. It's funny because that is way extreme. You know, speaking of late box, schoolism, whatnot, Nathan Fowkes is the one I can remember who was saying, to pay attention that you're so prone to exaggerate, oh, what is that angle there? It might be the slightest angle, and we'll just like blow it way out of proportion, or just perhaps a subtle shading form change or something. It was way too heavy and dark with it. Can happen. Happens really easily. Alright, let's move these other ones. Oh, whoops, I did that on the same layer. So let me separate that first. Here, we'll do this one. That'll be easier. Nope. Wrong hotkey. Alright, we'll take these. So move these guys up. And a little bit over. And then this guy can come up just a wee bit there. And, what was I doing? Where is this one? There it is. Yeah, so we'll have this come straight down. Again, with the exaggeration thing, it's like, that's not, in my reference, it's not that much of an angle there. It's just very slight. I just went way over the top of that. Now, let's see. Okay, yeah, I guess there is. I was looking at that reference and thinking there doesn't look like there's much of a floor plane there, but actually there is. Excuse me. Let's see how that works out. Okay. Okay, this shadow one up here. This shadow would imply that there's probably an object, another rock face right in here. And I'm going up. It's casting this shadow here. That is my assumption. You and your assumptions, Mr. Elwell. Watch yourself. This is lagging a little bit. This particular brush has very near stamps, like that repeats pretty close together. And between a huge document in live streaming and frequent brush stamps, it's lagging a little bit. So in this we don't have in the image, so we're gonna invent some of this stuff here based on what we do have. I don't think I like this one. That's too much of a repeat of the one on the far left, so we're just gonna let that. Maybe we'll break it into multiple. I'm not sure what to think about that. We'll see. We'll see. Jury's still out. Okay, let's bring in our bright value. I think we'll go here. No, let's see. We want to go across. I think we'll go up and down. And then back here, same thing. We got to go a little bit less, I think. I have a feeling that this is a mistake, but I'm going to try it. Putting this white up here. I like it being closer to the bottom. So now we're adding just a ton of contrast up top. just because Eric had this whimsical idea. I had to try it out. Yeah, maybe not, Eric. Alright. Eric from 5 years ago is shaking his head right now. He's going, we don't do undo. I had this thing going on for a while where I didn't like to use undo. And I actually, I think it's fine. I think it's a fine way to learn how to paint and handle yourself with an image. Just it is what it is, and we are not going to just keep going back and forth trying to figure it out. If you want to fix something, just paint it. Not a bad way to learn how to paint. But now I'm a little bit older and lazier, and I don't want to do that all the time. Sometimes you just undo. I want to explore a little bit. Alright, should we put in some clouds or something? Definitely need to clean up this horizon there. Clean horizon makes me happy. Okay. Scale that one down. Over there's fine. Let's see what else we're gonna do here. We got some more caves, rocks, shores. This one, okay, so I'm seeing another one that looks like maybe it's the same as this first one over here, but from the other side. So we'll play with that. What is this guy doing? What is this nonsense? A whole bunch of gobbledygook for nothing. Gobbledygook. As all the cool kids say. They are saying that, right? I don't know. It's not really my crew. But we can guess. I assume that's what the cool kids are saying. This dude and his dad jokes. Good night. Let's see. Get a little, some trees back in there, and we'll bridge these like so. Okay. Blocking this background a little bit more. Okay, let's see. Let's just start cleaning this up a bit here. Yeah, I don't think it helped very much. Get some of that foliage texturing kind of going on in there. Same brush, just a different kind of pattern and kind of pressure applied to the stroke. Ugh. What am I doing? Let's see. Let me clean up some of these edges here. This whole shape here doesn't need to be that. That rounded there. It's like it's got a round top and then a round and then a divot in there. And then I think all of this can come up higher. And then we can push it all back just a little bit darker. Sometimes you go too far. You gotta ask yourself, what am I even doing? there's some things I really like about this the scene that aren't really coming through as much in the drawing, and that's particularly like there's these like plate, almost like plates of the branches. You know, it just has a really nice appeal to it. Like if you imagine each branch is like I don't know, flattened out like a frisbee disc, something, and then it all kind of has a flow to it. I don't know. I think whatever flow I had, I just killed it. I think just in terms of the brush strokes, we had this kind of not particularly strong diagonal, but you could see the, I think, kind of energy in the stroke. Now I've killed it. Let's maybe just bring that to be our darkest point there, like as we're pulling into the cave, and then we'll lighten these up just a little bit here. Okay, let's resize that. What else have we got? Here's an interesting one. That's like, I'll zoom in for this so we have some space to work. I think this is just like a little cave, but it's got like two kind of got like a foot in the corner, like a table leg. What am I doing? Let's keep this flow going. Try to carry that on through the other side. Bring some. Bringing some more foliage in. Okay. Let's bring in our lighter value. Hmm. I don't even know if I need to be doing this, rim light there, but I'm doing it anyway. Whoops. Just realized how that was never a part of the whole structure there. Well, this particular one kind of grieves me. Not getting anywhere. I mean, we're making shapes, but shapes aren't making anybody want to look at this image. You know? They're not giving back. So that's not worth my time, I don't think. Okay. The chat. Some nice comments. Thank you. I appreciate that. What are we gonna do here? I'm gonna colorize one of these. I said that was not what I was gonna do at the beginning of the stream, but now it's 11 o'clock and we gotta do something. You know what? Let's stick with the plan. As much as I want to colorize this one right here, I think we should do, like I said, do an amalgamation of them all. Kind of, not all of them. Not this guy. No. He makes me sad. But, I don't know, there's some other stuff here that we could throw these together and kind of invent something, okay? Alright, so let's take all of these and I'm going to group those and duplicate it. Actually, if we go one more, that will give us, let's go multiply on that one, so that'll give us a little bit more contrast on them. Or we could do overlay. No, overlay will go too strong. Oh, that's fun. Linear burn, color burn. Let's go with the color burn. Alright, so anyway, we're going to take these two together, and once we merge these, it'll probably wash out a little bit more. Okay, so that's what we got. And do we want to... how do we want to do this? I'm thinking we just kind of take these, throw them in the corner, and then build out a new one. So they're up there. And let's grab this value because I changed it. I guess I could just grab it from the color picker there. And let's see what we like about these. I like that there's like that one warm, or yeah, like bright spot on that one. I like that we've got kind of a low angle looking up. This one's kind of fun. You got that portal, and I think that's kind of a, an interesting concept to have like your frame within a frame. It kind of invites the viewer into that area. I like that there's little bits up here and little bits there. I know that sounds like so like juvenile to be like, I like that there's little bits, but like really, I'm finding that often when I'll paint something, I'll end up defaulting to like just kind of flattening out the image and getting really close to it and just kind of painting the thing that's kind of interesting in your head, right? Excuse me. So if it's a palm tree, it's like you start doing the little palm leaf things. Those are terrible palm leaves, but you end up doing this thing, and then you're like, okay, well, it's just this flat image. Whereas if it's just this little implication, get rid of that. In the background, all you really got to do is like twist the brush, get a little squiggle, and then you got this. There we go. Let's give it kind of an interesting neck there or something. You know what I mean? Okay. Maybe not the best example, but I feel like you can take that further, and it's kind of this. I think it's this invitation. I know I've said this before, but like it's this invitation to go into the image, right? Because when you draw something really big, you give the viewer permission to stay back, to be like a distance observer, and I think when we scale things down, we get that kind of epic scale. Part of what we love about that is, well, first of all, it's massive. Makes us feel, I don't know, we got to take in the whole image, take in all these different kind of ideas all at once. And it makes us feel small, which, oddly enough, is really exciting. And I've got some stories about that, like with I've probably mentioned it before, but one time I was visiting a friend who lives in Hawaii, and we went snorkeling, and I looked down into just the vast kind of deep blue, and man, something about that moment just like I felt so tiny, but I felt like I was in this massive massive universe. You know, like it was like the feeling that I was like a dust mote. You know, dust mite, a mote, a mite, insignificant. Let's say. Like this isn't my story, right? I mean, this is what I'm thinking in the moment, right? Like we write everything through our own kind of autobiographical, you know, narration of this is our, the epic of Eric or whatever, you know. And then you have these moments of clarity where you see just how big the world is, and the world itself being a small thing in a vast universe, and you just get this sense, this kind of crazy feeling of like just how big everything is, and it's actually, I found it like really comforting. I don't know, it may sound crazy, but it's I think it's something in it. I think there's something in us that when we, you know, you look over the precipice, you look at the, you know, you look up at the mountain, you um, go to a gorge or something, and you look down, and it's just this feeling of awe and wonder, and I think there's a strange joy and peace in that, you know, even in the wildness and the danger and in the feeling of being insignificant. It's like, well, if I'm small, then all of my problems are small too, right? Whatever my stressors are, they're like, we can handle that, you know? The world will keep turning. So, okay, that's perhaps a feeble attempt to philosophize and understand what's going on there. But I think that when we look at a scene where we get this big picture and we see little small things, one, I think, like I said, it invites the viewer to like go there, to go into the scene and not just observe it. And then I think we have a kind of innate, hardwired sense about things, about the gravity and meaning even associated with seeing nature, seeing the scale and the wonder of it, and then realigning our own kind of internal perspective. That all makes sense. That's some free philosophy with Eric. There's a reason it's free. So there you go. I like the shadow on that other one, so I'm gonna try to reintroduce that. And I'm kind of wondering if we do like, so okay, so say we got a shape here, right? And we're gonna say this is like some kind of rock face here, and we could have some kind of foliage, you know, like we can cut some angles into this and have some foliage kind of sitting on top, you know, peeking out the edges here. This is not the right brush for the kind of foliage I'm trying to do, but you know, whatever. It'll work. So we'll erase out some of this. But let's say that's the big picture, is that this is like this rock face here. And then there in the background, I'm thinking we can have this so the sun is, say, just a little bit low, so we can have this leave a shadow up on this structure here. And then maybe we rinse and repeat. Do that with something farther back there. And then I think we need to establish that horizon line there. Get it nice and low. Then I think we need to get back to the main attraction of putting all those little tiny things back there, you know? All that talk and we're hardly doing it. Not that anyone needed to point that out. I don't like that. I want to bring this up, and then the idea of, again, having some kind of portal. You know, like this guy. I don't know. Should we have? Could have these connect. You know. I'm not wild about it, but it does frame. Puts a frame within the frame. We'll save that for perhaps another layer. Let's do like a little shadow here that'll kind of guide back into this area. Hmm. Let's just do this edge here. I don't know that it needs to be that tall. Let's try cutting it back a little bit. I think we gotta edit this form here. Excuse me. I don't know if that's the best idea to have that be bright in the corners there. We'll see. Let's get this blocked in a little bit more here. We'll start getting our brights in. And do we want to have a bright white sky? Kind of thinking no, but I'm gonna block that in and see how the contrast works. Yeah, I think it's probably just too much. Go back, forward. Yeah, I don't know. There are things I like about it, but things I don't. So, I think we can push this back. I'm pretty sure I don't want that. that shape's probably too extreme. Just gonna make that more subtle. Starting to really question this shape here, whether this was a bad decision or not. Let's see if we take this line up here and then bring it back. Let's see. I'm thinking we can kind of lead that back down to here. We need to kind of hide that edge. In fact, I may even darken this up on this side. I don't know. I want this to kind of transition from light to dark. Counter change, they say. I can't help but see this as like a bald head with like scraggly hair, and it's really bothering me. Sorry if I just ruined it for you. I think it's partly that like this looks like a frown down here. That looks kind of like an eye. And these things must not be. Nope. Excuse me. I think we need to return to that, this kind of form here. So we're doing okay up until about here. I think we need to round out the top a little bit. Now we are, looking up at it, so we get that perspective to deal with. Look at that, full head of hair up there. Okay. Start to balance out these values. You want to push this, into a darker, less contrasty zone. And then over here, let's see. We got this light here. This light kind of coming in from behind. This could be kind of occluding. Like it's got a shadow cast on it. Could probably lower this shadow back here. Get a little bit more of that shape in the view. In the sunlight, rather. And then back here. I don't like that. Push that back. Like it needs something, but it wasn't that. We'll round these out a little bit more to echo what we've got going on over here. Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm making kind of a mess there. Maybe we'll darken this one up in the foreground here. Midground. Midground. That's not the foreground. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Just kind of experimenting with something there. I don't think I like that. I was thinking, what if we put a little like a cave mouth there or something, but I think we could do it more strategically. Maybe here, kind of subtle. Subtly. Seems like a better idea. It looks too much like an eye. I don't know. Kind of kills the scale too. No. Never mind all that. Bad idea. Alright, let me zoom out and have a look at this. Okay. Let's see what happens there. maybe get rid of that cloud that we put in. And I think there's potential to put kind of a larger cloud in there that we could use to just as a compositional piece, motif, element, you know, all those words. So yeah, so let's switch on over here. Let's talk about that cloud. So we got this white in here, and if we did white behind these clouds, or behind these trees, you know, bring them forward. And we could do maybe something smaller in here. We might even consider kind of shaping that. Hold on. Kind of shaping the negative, or the gray as the cloud shape. You know, and that would just be a matter of, I think, of giving this a little more of a breakup along the top edge there, and then making this flatter so that it appears to be the bottom of a cloud rather than the more shapely top of the cloud. It actually kind of looks like it's supposed to be mountains in the background or something. So I don't know what I think about that, because with this low perspective, it really shouldn't be that high up. Whoops. Let's mask some of this out. Kind of like that as a leading line to get you to go here to there, kind of thing. Let's switch that one around. Excuse me. I don't like that. I kind of want to flatten it out a little bit. I know that's weird. Why would you want to flatten it out? But I think it could potentially give a nice stability to this otherwise, you know, you're kind of looking up. You get some of these harsher angles. I want all these stones and everything to feel solid. Yeah, I don't like that. Just not quite getting the angle that I want with that. I don't know what I'm thinking. I almost feel like it would do just as well being like flipped side to side. You know, like that. I don't know. Maybe not. We could maybe fade that up. I don't know. Let's do a different brush. We'll do this flat head here so that we can get a soft transition. And bring it in here. Maybe have this be a soft transition as well. Okay. New layer. Try to get some, break up that shape just a little bit there. Okay, I don't like that. Kind of like that edge gets lost in there. I've changed that shape so many times. Hmm. Yeah, it is. It's quite a bit different. I think we could maybe mask this and see if we want to keep this bottom part here. I like that it kind of pulls in like that, but you know, I don't know. Doesn't integrate super well. Doesn't integrate. What is this guy talking about? Yeah, it's probably more a matter of, let's see, let's get rid of that mask and do a new one. And I think this shape here could be a little cleaner. Coming down, sweeping down into this lower portion there. I feel like that needs just a little bit more overlap. Excuse me. And that whole idea of having a little cave there, I don't know, just seems. But if I get rid of it, it doesn't look that great either. All right, let's grab all this and we'll merge that together. And then we'll set this to color burn. Find the sweet spot. And let's start adding some color. I don't know that I really want to get into it too deep tonight, but you know what? Guess we kind of have to. Let's go multiply. I'm just gonna use the lasso tool. We're gonna grab all this. We'll do a solid color, and we'll just start locking it in. This actually, maybe we should do. I don't want to do hard light. So I'm thinking either one of these, like multiply or color burn. So either color burn or hard light, I think. And all it's really going to do, I think, is going to preserve. Do a little better preserving some of that value, that value there. All right, and let's do. I'm going to occlude that white. Omit. Term. We'll shift our color around. Alright, and then we're going to take that dark, slide that up ever so slightly. Okay, we'll just duplicate this and we'll invert the mask, and then we'll give this whatever we want for our light value. Excuse me. And I think this maybe will go to. I don't know. I'm thinking about going heavier with this one. Well, yeah, let's go with color burn. We're gonna lower the, the effect. I'm gonna clear this stuff. What we need is something to fill in those cavities a bit there. And so I think what we'll do is maybe we'll duplicate this and we'll go, we can bring that all the way back, bring this back, and we'll do just like darker color maybe, or darken, and then we'll bring it to a cleaner value. needs more of that red. Okay. What in the world are you doing, Eric? All right, let's grab these darker values. So we'll just grab the RGB channel, invert it, and then we'll drop in a new color here. Solid color. Go kind of dark with that. I think on some kind of like drab, a drabby looking thing. And we'll just do darken. And what do we want? Multiply, normal. We gotta really compress that. So let's see. Oh, we want this. How are we gonna do this? We gotta get, basically we gotta get these mids. Oh man, my brain. What color mode am I in? RGB? Okay, so I want to bring down. Okay, I think that's what I want. I'm losing my mind here. I think we'll also just put a gradient from the bottom up because we don't need this near the bottom. Okay, let's go. Hue saturation. I'm going to lower the saturation. And then apply this only to our grays. Or our darker colors. What am I talking about? Grays. And I might want to change that transition point. Could invert this, so we're saying, okay, right in these black areas here, we want that to be kind of gray, but then we don't want it to really affect anything going on in the lighter area. It's hard to say because there's some areas that I like it. I like the gray effect, and in some areas I like the warm effect. Okay, let's shift this hue. that. Duplicate it. I'm gonna go this one up from the bottom. Excuse me. We're gonna make this. And this one. And we'll do two of these. So this one will go. This one will go in the middle. Well, let's see. Okay, and actually, I think I'll invert this and go, yeah, get that kind of green just in the water area. And then this one, I'm gonna go with these kind of yellows, reds. Yeah, this is gonna be just kind of in the reflected area. Whoops, wrong color. You gotta remember, everything we're working off of this sky base, so we might want to just double check it to make sure we're happy with the way that it is affecting our perception of the rest of the scene. I think I want to go with maybe like a soft blue like that, but then I want to have like a transition up from the top. Okay, and then we'll do one more. Excuse me. If we turn that off, what do we get? Yeah, I don't think that needs to be pinned. I think we can let that kind of be free. And then this one, well, I think we can do like a gray or something. That's a hard light though, so this one will probably just have to be like normal. I don't actually think it needs to be purple. I think we'll just, if we just go with like a soft gray, it'll kind of be perceived that way. And then, can we feather this down into here? Because I think if this, let's see, where's our, there. So if maybe this is below that. Oh, no, that's not going to work. Or if we just move the gray up. And there, maybe. What is this? Okay. Yeah, so then we can Gonna add in that reflection there. Yeah, I don't know about this. I think that's going too dark. What if we just do hard light? All right, let's do a new layer. We'll bring that mask. I think we'll just kind of push this all to like a dark gray down in here. I don't know if that's gonna work there. Okay. Let's see if we should decide just where this needs to be applied. And then let's go with a black. And this will just do, I want this primarily in these crevices that already exist here. Excuse me. And I don't know what I'm doing here. I got that super bright. And I don't really have a good transition into that, so I want to gotta establish that, I think. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I thought it would look cool. Boy, was I wrong. So we're doing a little color burn here. Try to get that transition to be this transition from like saturation to grays, you know. I don't know what in the world I'm doing here. I think that's kind of obvious. I think I'm making this rock face that was, I don't know, almost believable. Now it's like, oh, it's a mess. Nope, that's not any better. Alright, let me get another value in there and I'm gonna transition that. Yeah, it's terrible. You go in without a plan on this edge, and it beats you up. Got you asking why. Why did I decide to do this? Oh yeah, I was gonna change this transition here. Be a little less extreme. Maybe bring in some of this and make this a little more extreme. Why not? I don't know, we'll see about that. We'll go new layer, darker color. Start to throw that in there. Let's see. It's like almost what I want. Just want a little bit of texture to it, though, you know? Alright, I'm gonna just manually paint over top of this, and we'll push this. I think we'll get this kind of lighter gray going on in there. Push that back. Push that guy back a little bit. These can go back as well. Get more of that green in the water. Oh, actually that's not water right there. It's supposed to be a rock. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, let's get some more of that green in there. No, you know, it really does not need to be a true green, I don't think. I think we could get away with, you know, ending up kind of in the yellow space. Just to get, you know, close enough. Close enough to our existing colors in the palette that it starts to feel greenish by comparison. Might go a little richer there as we're getting closer Excuse me. Let's see, where's that blue? That's pretty intense, so what do we want to do with you? Maybe blend it in. I don't know, I actually kind of like it just like this. You know, you lose that that transition in there, but it's just so intense. I think it makes it look like, you know, like Pixar. Um, Imaginative, you know, Happy Land. And, I don't know anybody like that. Um, yeah, maybe just moving the transition up a little higher. Oh, hey, Morris. I see you in the chat there. I think I'm coming to the end of this one. I think I'm gonna do probably my, you know, curves and color balance, and then hopefully I don't get you know, sucked into um, trying to fix something. You know, I'll always see something that makes me want to fix it, and I'm gonna try not to get suckered into that tonight. To kind of get this to a good stopping point. Probably somewhere in there, and then we'll go to color balance. Looks like Arizona. Hmm. Really changes the feel of it. I think I like, bringing those greens into the shadow area. I don't know, at what cost though. Like I like the mids on the original, I think. I think I do, but I'm not sure. Once you start mixing these, then well, let's try it. Okay, and then this one we'll just do like we'll cut out the low. Cut out the high. Okay, yeah, I think I was onto something. You just do luminosity or color. Yeah, I think we'll leave that at normal. And then just to do it because you have to. Let's do the opposite. So we'll take that up there, and then we'll copy everything. Put that up there. Yep, just looking at the chat. Morris still trying to make more environments over here. Yeah, I think that's good. I think we talked about that. I think I was eating a little bit of my own medicine today. Saying that you have to push to the point of frustration because that's when you are learning. And I had a little bit of that today. Probably all good things. Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking, zoning in on what I was doing. Yeah. I think that's right, Morris. I think that you've got to do more of these and take them as far as you can, and you're gonna hit a wall at some point. I mean, we all do. You hit that point where you say, okay, I either don't want to do anything more with this, I'm tired of it, or I don't know what else to add to it. And I think that's going to force you to have to look at it with a different set of tools, right? Like we have our methods, our ruts. I think that we get into. I think I prefer this second version. I don't know. I think maybe the background. It's like. I think as it goes back in space, I kind of like the idea of it, shifting. So let's do this. So grab this right here. And that'll be our mask for that. Man, I don't know. I don't know what I want. I'm a mess. Told you, eating my own medicine. Getting to the point of frustration, right? Yeah, I think really either of these is better. I wonder if I just knock that one out and bring that back in. I think just like this shadow area could benefit from being the other method. It just gives it a little more depth. I don't know about this green line right here. Let's see what happens if we take that out. I'm gonna keep pushing it back. Okay, I think either way, what happens is the color contrast pushes this away from the background and pushes this away from the background as well. Just doing that inversion. I think I prefer this one. I don't like what's going on here. Maybe I'll mask all of that as well. Like just take this. And then that's got to be inverted like that. Okay. Well, I think I'll pause there. Think about that. So, looking back at the chat, it's just a point of contention. I'm just concerned because studios have often used for 3D environments as well on the side. I only have one and don't want to be caught off guard. Painting skills on the side is important too. Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on what your objectives are. If the big picture is more just competence with environments, kind of as a general, like being able to execute on them. I think you still have to break that down into the different categories of, concept, 2D rendering, 3D execution, 3D completion, like taking them to a farther finish and presentation. And so I I would break it down into those, and then just don't beat yourself up and don't try to do it all at once. I mean, you obviously have a lot of skill in 2D and 3D. I think, in my opinion, I would focus on um, the heavy hitters as far as presentation. So, like, you have great ideas. I think that if your 2D skills at the front end, like just compositionally, like doing a little bit, taking it a little bit further, then that's gonna serve you well to finish them well. Um, I think just the exercise of finishing, like getting to the end and then pushing like another 10% past what you where you'd like to stop. I think if you did that, then what you would end up with, at the least, if not a better piece, because sometimes, just being frank, like sometimes when I try to finish things farther than my ability, I ruin them. But you have to be willing to do that, I think. Like let some pieces die so that you learn what works and what doesn't work at the back end, and then it'll also, I think, point some things out. And by the back end, I mean at the end of the process, when it's just like I need to touch some things up. You might find that, like, hey, it's not touching things up. I should have, maybe not put this object here. If I'm like just looking at my own painting here, like I'm thinking about this, about like cleaning these up and like maybe putting like a little house up there or something. Maybe putting something, I don't know, lighthouse here or something. I don't know that it needs to be a lighthouse, but like something to show more of a scene. Maybe we'll, dig this out and have this be like kind of a cave with like a sandbar and like a little fireplace there or whatever, a campfire. There's, I think storytelling, you can start to add a bunch of elements, and being willing to destroy the image in order to try some things, I think is a good thing. It can be super frustrating and heartbreaking, but like, I think that, what I'm trying to say is I think that doing that at the very end of the process sometimes shows you that, spending a little more time at the beginning would have made a great opportunity for that, and it's not like that was a failed piece. Right. For example, if I wanted to put a little fireplace down here and, like a shipwreck or something, and then I found that I just really cannot fit a shipwreck into this composition and make it work, then the whole point of this piece then was that, like, discovering that storytelling bit and then discovering that my setup was inadequate to tell it well, and so I start the next one, right? And I don't want this to just be like some like pep talk, like everything's good and just learn from everything, but really, I think that's the point of like pushing a little bit farther, right? So like if thinking about it in terms of like an athlete, you can push yourself harder, like in the championship game, and that might be the moment of glory or whatever, but like most likely, if you try something new like for the first time when it really matters, it might not pay off, right? It might not work out. It's more like trying something new all the time and pushing yourself a little bit farther in those practices, so that your practice doesn't become comfortable. It's a concept in like in weightlifting. Like if you weightlift to the point that you go just beyond what you're really comfortably able to do, And that's what's going to send those signals to the brain to um, build muscle mass. I think it's my understanding, and I'm no weight teacher, so like YouTube, don't demonetize me for this or whatever. I mean, I'm demonetized anyway. I don't have any. It's not monetized, but I'm saying, don't don't flag this video as misinformation. But like my understanding is that you actually do have to have this really mild muscle tissue damage that has to happen in order for them to grow back stronger. And so that's pushing past the point of what you're comfortable and able to do. Anyway, what happens is you end up getting to the point where whatever you were lifting, say you're like curling a 35 pounds or whatever, I don't know. All the weightlifters out there are laughing at me, but whatever. Let's say you're curling 35 pounds, and then that becomes like just comfortable. Like at first it was really hard. Hard to get to 10. Now you can bang out 15, no problem. You don't feel anything. Once you get to that point, then you don't really get the benefit. I mean, maybe you maintain. You don't atrophy or whatever, but the growth isn't there because you're not pushing yourself to the point of necessity, to like needing more. Okay, I know. Like, sorry, I'm not trying to make like a Eric's preachy, analogy monologue, but I really think it's important. I think it's important that you stick with it, push your work farther, whether you know what to do or not. And like we said before, like not knowing what to do is a good sign that you're into that like 10% more zone, that you've already exhausted your comfortable techniques. And like I'm the same way. Like there's things that I in the back of my mind I want to try, but I've got my comfortable way of like this is how I make it work, and I don't experience growth unless I start to incorporate things that I just don't really fully know and don't really fully understand, or don't do well, So okay, I'm just talking in circles, but that's my opinion on that. And of course, you can run those by me. I think it's best for you to self-analyze first. I mean, you can send those to me, and I'll say whatever I think about them. Like we've been doing. But I think the real benefit to you is when you look at it and you say, whatever it is about the piece. I'm thinking about the last one and the comment about the white in it. If you thought to yourself, like, well, what if I remove all of the white from the scene so that it's all color? And then just try those things, right? Or again, you might not be thinking of the same things that I'm thinking of when I look at it, but you've got to be able to look at it and start asking, like, why did I do that? And what could it look like if I did something completely different? I'll say this about like my own work. This is crazy, and it goes to show like just how little I know. When I approach something and I feel like that, I don't want to call it an inner voice or whatever, but your instinct says, okay, do this. So like your instinct says, shade, that eye socket or whatever with a certain, like, go dark in the recesses or whatever. Sometimes I just do the opposite. Sometimes I just like stop and go, wait a minute, I was about to just automatically do this thing because my instinct tells me it's the right thing to do. But what if I actually just do the exact opposite of that? Instead of like darkening that shadow, what if I like lighten it and make it catch, it's like catching light at a weird angle or something. And I don't know what the odds are, 50-50 or whatever, but like sometimes it looks way better when I do that rather than just like following this like routine of what you think you know, like what you think it ought to be. And it's kind of humbling too, because you're like, well, I was like 100% confident about what I was going to do, and then I did the exact opposite. Like I told my instincts no, and it turned out better. Like what's going on. But anyway, that's something to think about, and maybe try that. I'm gonna catch up on the chat real quick. I learned my lesson on turning on all notifications. Hey Eric, hey, welcome. Sorry to caught it kind of right at the end. Let me catch it. How did you come up with the astronaut frog? Also, it looks very painterly and believable. How did you get to that stage? So, come up with astronaut frog. Yeah, the astronaut frog. So the concept. Morris and I have a mutual friend that we used to do art hangouts with years ago, David Alarcon, and he had I think it was a lemur. It was a lemur in like a spacesuit, but it was like a sci-fi kind of looking thing. And David and I were playing with some ideas to like to update that, and I was thinking like a more standard like astronaut, like NASA spacesuit or cosmonaut kind of spacesuit. Something a little more grounded and less like glowing like neon lights and stuff. And so anyway, we were playing with that and like looking up NASA stuff and kind of developed a bunch of different animals. And then I think I did some for Inktober years ago. And so it's been kind of like I've got these kind of like themes that just kind of come back up, and I think they're funny and like fun to do. So we did like a koala in a spacesuit, and then frogs, a Debraza, which is like a kind of monkey-ish thing, and then a bilby, crocodile, rabbit, gorilla. So like we just riffed on that idea, and it's kind of funny because I can think of a couple other things where if my brain is off and I don't know what to draw, I just draw that, right? So like that's one of those things. So like if I get the sketchbook out and you got that like fear of the blank canvas, I'm like okay, I'll just draw a spacesuit and with like some kind of critter in it, or like you start with the critter first. So and I can pull up. Well, it would be a little bit to dig them up tonight, but I start with thumbnails, like just really small sketches, to get the like big picture of the shapes and like how would that work and how do you mash up those ideas? Like how do you get a giraffe into a spacesuit? But the part of what makes it work is the irony and like the fact that it shouldn't work. Then if you can get the shapes to work and you can exaggerate something, like for example the frog, for example, you're thinking about a frog in a spacesuit and he's got this like glass helmet bowl, and then you're like, well, that's kind of like a fish tank bowl, a fish bowl, and the frog, like it would make sense if the frog had a fluid environment in there, and so then like the joke just kind of builds on itself as you have time to like play with it, or like the giraffe, for example, like how do you get that like really long neck with a spacesuit, and so that like it's almost like the thing that makes it impossible becomes the gag that makes it fun and funny. And then as far as like the painting of it, excuse me, just lots of practice. I mean, I don't practice as much as I used to, which is a fault. I think that I should, just like I was saying with Morris, like I should find that area that I'm not comfortable with and spend a lot of time there and push myself to the next level. But when I was younger and I was first getting into art, that was I was much hungrier to do that, because I wanted to like, get good and get jobs, and now it's like, I kind of want to, have fun and tell stories, which is, sounds better. And I think honestly it is better, but in terms of like exponential growth, it's not, I feel like I'm growing in a different way rather than the technical rendering. I feel like I'm growing in really conceptualizing what I'm doing and how it all kind of works together and what I'm trying to tell with it. And I'm learning that that's more difficult than it sounds. But anyway, as far as the technical rendering, yeah, I mean, so I would do the general advice that I give people is like do one thing that you hate and do one thing that you love, right? So there's the thing that you really enjoy about art, whatever it is. Like if you like anime, then it's anime. If you like, painterly, whatever. If you like, painting plein air, scenes. If you like painting people, whatever it is, drawing cartoons, do the thing that you like. And then there's something that you're avoiding that that you ought to do, but like it's hard. Like I don't want to do perspective. I don't want to do anatomy. I don't want to do like composition. Like there are things that we avoid. And I'm saying if you spent equal time and you told yourself that, like, look, I'm going to spend an hour today drawing cartoons because I like drawing cartoons, and then I'm going to spend an hour drawing in perspective. Then I think it's manageable. It's like it's bite size, and it's more like a tit for tat, like a trade off. Like I'll get to do the fun thing, and I'll do the hard work, and and then. But I think if you only do the hard work, then you lose all the fun, and you don't really want to do it. I mean, it's fun when you're making gains and you can see yourself improving. That's exciting. But if you're not doing any of the things that you love and that you got into art in the first place for, I mean, on one hand, it's like, well, kind of, what's the point of that? What's the point of getting better if you're not doing anything that you care about? And it's okay for your sensibilities and your taste to change, right? So if like you really like cartoons and you jumped into art because you want to do cartooning, and then like you learn some new things and then those things become exciting to you, that's fine. But to keep yourself kind of psychologically, emotionally fed along the way, you have to do some of the things that you like. And then to get anywhere and to grow, you've got to do the things you don't like. Yeah, the technique. I can say that like when I started, I started with like texturing 3D models. So like I didn't have to do any perspective. I didn't have to really do anatomy so much, like other than just like the muscle groups and stuff. But all of the structure and the form was already there. It was just kind of painting on top of it. So like I'll have to admit that like that's where I started. Like I kind of started with the rendering of materials, like what makes a rock and what makes metal and leather and so on, right? And I mean I spent a lot of time being terrible at that, and then just kind of picking up one thing at a time. Like, okay, well I'm bad at metal, so then how does this work, right? Or I don't know, just so I think probably the takeaways from texturing was like color theory and contrast, just like kind of managing my values and like trying to get the best most interesting areas to have good contrast and kind of balancing the saturation and the hues to kind of lead the eye into like the face or the hands or whatever part of the model was that I was texturing. So like I think that was a kind of actually a good way to isolate those three concepts: um, uh, hue, saturation, and value. Just breaking up color into those things, and then how do you get good contrast out of those? Um, Doing it as textures made it really simple because then I didn't have to come up with a whole scene, and I didn't have to have like depth, and I didn't have to have anatomy and perspective and all that stuff. Um, and then I did a bunch of like cartoon drawing and pencil drawing, which were bad. I mean, they were terrible, but I just did a ton of it. And I had an art director when I interned. Joe Maroshek was his name. Is his name still around? He he advised that I spend an hour every night, just get a ream of paper and a tote, and just draw, for an hour and throw all the papers in the tote and just forget about them. Like it doesn't. It's more about mileage than about like this perfect finish. Landing. Perfect landing, right? It's just more about like just get used to how it works, right? So that's probably enough. I'm not going to go through a whole history of how I learned how to do every little thing, but I would say start there. Like drawing is probably going to solve most of your problems, except for color, but it gets you halfway there because you have to deal with value. And you also have to deal with kind of zoning out regions on your canvas. And those two things alone, value and shape language, are going to help you with color. Oddly enough, because color is associated with value, right? Like blues tend to be darker, purples tend to be darker, and then like your yellows and your cyans and all those tend to be brighter. So there's really no way around that. I mean, you can excuse me, you can have yellows in the shadow and cyans in the shadow, but they're going to shift to something else. Anyway, your value is probably the most important thing, and then like having color kind of assigned to regions, rather than just kind of blending it all together and having mud. That's an important thing in color, and that is something that you can learn just simply from drawing with a pencil. And generally speaking, you can't really color or paint your way out of a design that you're unable to draw, right? Like unless you're like really abstract and loose and expressive, we'll say, and you get that kind of textural explosion going on, which is cool. It's a cool look. And a lot of times I think it is appropriate to have like a lost edge, it's kind of like either blurry or like textural. But that's never going to save you from like, I can't conceptualize, or I can't draw this at this angle or this perspective or whatever, it's just going to hide. It's just going to hide the inadequacies, I guess. Draw. And draw things you like, and chip away at the things that are hard and you don't feel like doing, and you'll get to the point where you'll have a comfort level with, you've got an idea and you want to execute on it, and you can, and it's fun. Sorry, that was turned into a monologue. Okay, I think this is probably a good place to stop. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking looking at all the things I want to clean up, and I think I'll just do it another time because it is almost 1:30 in the morning here, and I should get some sleep. So thank you for joining in tonight, and thank you for the conversation. That was good to chat a little bit at the end, and hopefully that wasn't too much of a lecture or a boring monologue, but I hope that you got some insight out of that. And the biggest thing is just do it. Just draw. Don't wait for inspiration. Just set aside the time and make it easy on yourself and just do it. All right, I think that's it for tonight. Thank you guys, and have a good night.